my name is Evan Mino. I am the horn professor at Arkansas Tech University in Russellville, and I also perform with several orchestras throughout the state, such as the Arkansas Symphony in Little Rock, the Fort Smith Symphony, and the Texarkana Symphony. Today I'm going to be playing and talking through exercise number 61. So the first thing you'll want to check out with this etude is the rhythm. It's actually pretty simple when you look at it. You only ever have 1 quarter note, 2 eighth notes, or 4 sixteenths in a group, and then you have that quarter rest. That usually ends up being the trickiest part because it's very easy to hold that quarter rest too long or to get a little excited and come in early and clip it too short. Make sure you're subdividing or thinking sixteenths all the way through the etude and you'll be fine on that rest. The next most common mistake I hear in this is missing that first note after the rest. A lot of times it's a 16th note group, and that very first 16th note, just because it's so quick, it's really easy to chip it and for that first note not to be as good as the rest. Make sure your air is working right at the beginning of that 16th group and make sure that first note has as good a sound as the rest of the 16ths. The last thing to watch out for on this is that G sharp in bar 11. Make sure you remember that it carries all the way through the measure. The last note in that measure, which is an 8th note G, that's also a G sharp. I hear that played as a G natural quite a bit, so make sure you're careful and don't miss that one. As far as dynamics, you're only given 1 dynamic marking at the beginning, and that's a mezzo forte. Feel free to add a few dynamics in there to make it a little more interesting. I like to do something called following the contour, which is just when it goes up to higher notes, I get a little louder, and when it comes back down to lower notes, I get a little bit softer. A really good example would be in bar 7. You have those scale 16ths and 8ths at the end of the measure, so I get a little louder there, and then in measure 8 and 9, when it comes back down, I get a little softer. For an extra little musical detail, you might consider adding a slight retard in the very last bar, just to make the ending a little more interesting. As far as tempo and articulation, I don't take this very fast. I take it on the slower side of andante, and I do not play it staccato. I save the staccato for exercises like 49 and even 40. This one I play fairly long with a pretty clear articulation, but very sustained notes. I actually recommend practicing this all slurred and then blowing that same kind of smooth slurred air just with an articulation added on to it. That's all the tips I have for you. Happy practicing, good luck at your audition, and thanks for watching.